Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something real, something every woman needs to hear today, because a whole lot of you think a man stepping back for a minute means he's avoiding you. You think it means he's done, he's bored, he's tired, or he's talking to somebody else. But I'm here to tell you, sometimes that man ain't avoiding you at all. He's in love. Yeah, you heard me? In love. And when a man falls in love, he does not operate the same way he does when he's just playing around. Love changes the rhythm of a man. It slows him down. It softens him. It scares him. It makes him think about things he never thought about before. When a man slows down communication, most women instantly assume the worst. They think he's losing interest, pulling away, or suddenly becoming cold for no reason. But what many people don't understand is that real love changes the way a man behaves. When he starts to feel something deep, something powerful, something real, his natural instinct is not always to rush in. It's often to pause, not because he wants to leave, not because he doesn't care, but because the feelings are bigger than anything he was prepared for. Men are wired differently. A man can handle stress at work, pressure from life, and responsibilities on his shoulders, but emotional vulnerability, that's new territory for him. When he realizes his heart is involved, his whole system slows down so he can process what he's feeling. That slowdown is not avoidance, it's adjustment. It's him trying to make sense of the fact that you're not just another woman in his life. You're the one he doesn't want to lose. For a man, falling in love is not a smooth, effortless slide. It's more like stepping into cold water, shocking at first, overwhelming, and full of unexpected sensations. The moment he starts caring deeply, he becomes cautious. He starts thinking before he speaks. He takes longer to reply. He plans instead of improvising. And to a woman who is emotionally expressive and open, this shift feels confusing. But for him, it's the sign that what he feels is real. When communication slows down, it often means the man is regulating himself. He wants to appear strong, stable, and in control. He doesn't want you to see the part of him that's panicking inside. Love softens him, but it also exposes him. Men are taught to be protectors, providers, and leaders, not to reveal the crack in their armor. So instead of rushing forward, he steps back for a moment to breathe. Another reason a man slows down communication when he's in love is because he's replaying everything you say, every moment you share, every emotion he feels. He's trying to understand you and himself in the same breath. When he's not in love, he acts fast without thinking. But when he is, he's afraid of saying the wrong thing or moving too quickly and messing up something that could be meaningful. This pause is his way of handling the intensity of what he feels. The silence is not distance. It's confusion mixed with hope. Women often crave consistency in communication because it makes them feel safe, but men often crave emotional control because it makes them feel strong. When love shows up, those two needs collide. He takes time not because he wants separation, but because he wants to show up in a way that does not disappoint you. He's not withdrawing, he's preparing, and in his mind, Slowing down is safer than rushing and ruining something that has the potential to change his life. So when a man slows down communication, don't assume his heart is fading. Sometimes that pause is the clearest sign that his emotions are growing stronger than he ever expected. When a man is truly falling in love, he becomes cautious in a way most women don't immediately understand. It's not that he doesn't want the relationship, and it's not that he's unsure about you. What he's unsure about is himself, his readiness, his ability to give you the love you deserve, and whether he can maintain the level of consistency a real relationship requires. Love makes a man evaluate everything in his life. It makes him question whether he's stable enough, emotionally strong enough, and capable enough to be the man you need. That caution you feel from him, that slight hesitation, is not a pullback. It's a man checking his own heart. When he feels real emotions, he stops rushing because now the outcome matters. Now you matter. And that changes the way he moves. Many men were raised with the silent pressure that they must be the rock in the relationship. They need to be steady, reliable, and confident. So when a man falls in love and suddenly feels vulnerable, he doesn't always know how to process it. Vulnerability to him feels like danger. It feels like losing control, like stepping into unfamiliar territory. Instead of expressing everything openly, he takes time to sit with his feelings. He takes time to make sure he's not confusing infatuation with something deeper. He takes time to figure out what his next step should be. And while women may see that caution as confusion, it is often clarity. It's him recognizing the weight of what he feels. He knows that once he takes the next step with you, he wants it to count. So he becomes deliberate, thoughtful, and intentional. A man in love becomes cautious because he doesn't want to give you half of himself. He wants to show up fully. That requires emotional preparation. When a man is just playing around, he doesn't think twice before making a move. But when he loves you, every decision feels important. He thinks about how his words make you feel. He thinks about how his actions affect you. He thinks about whether he is capable of giving you peace, stability, and a future. You'll notice that he may pause before saying certain things, not because he's unsure, but because he wants to say them right. You'll see him take longer to make decisions, not because he's stalling, but because he wants those decisions to build something meaningful. And sometimes he may become quieter, not distant, but more reflective. That caution is often a sign of respect. He respects you enough not to mislead you. He respects the potential of your relationship enough not to rush something that could be beautiful. He respects himself enough to make sure he's ready. Love comes with responsibility, and men know that. They may not always say it, but they feel it. And when a man slows down to get his emotions in order, it often means he sees something real in you, something worth taking his time with. His caution is not a retreat. It's him getting ready to love you the right way. When a man is deeply in love, he starts paying attention in ways that many women don't always notice immediately. He becomes quieter, more observant, more intentional. Instead of rushing into conversations or trying to impress you with big gestures, he begins to study you, how you talk, how you move, how you react to things, what makes you smile and what hurts you. This isn't because he's unsure about you, it's because he wants to understand you completely. A man who isn't in love doesn't look that deeply. He keeps things on the surface. But when he truly cares, his heart pushes him to notice the details, because the details matter when it comes to love. He listens more than he speaks because he wants to learn you, not lose you. He pays attention to the tone in your voice, the shifts in your mood, and the things you say without saying. Love sharpens his focus. This type of observation is not passive. It's not distant. It's an active effort to understand who you are beyond what you show the world. He listens to the way you talk about your dreams and fears. He pays attention to what you value, what you need, and what you've been through. He's trying to put together a map of your heart so he knows how to love you the right way. Men often express love through understanding and protection. And to protect you, he wants to know you. To show up for you, he wants to understand what matters to you. His quietness is not disinterest. It's engagement. It's him processing every little detail you offer because he knows each one is a piece of the person he's falling for. You'll notice he starts remembering things you may have forgotten you even said. He recalls your favorite drink, the story from your childhood, the things that irritate you, the way you prefer certain things to be done. He'll remember the look on your face when you're upset and the way your eyes brighten when something excites you. This kind of awareness comes from love. A man who is just passing time with you won't invest that kind of mental energy. But a man who is serious will treat your presence like something sacred. He pays attention not to judge, but to understand, not to criticize, but to connect. His heart is watching. What many women misinterpret as distance is sometimes a man's way of gathering emotional information. Men aren't always verbal about their feelings. Instead, they observe, they analyze, they try to make sense of their emotions by making sense of you. When he watches you closely, he's trying to figure out how he fits into your world and how you fit into his. He wants to know how to support you, how to avoid hurting you, and how to be someone you can trust. A man in love understands that real connection is built not on assumptions, but on awareness. So he becomes a student of you. He listens with intention. He watches with affection. And through that quiet observation, he is building a deeper bond than words could ever create. When a man falls in love, something shifts inside him that he can't always explain, and that shift often shows up as vulnerability. Most men are not raised to be emotionally open. From a young age, they're told to be strong, to hold everything in, to never show fear or weakness. So when real love enters their life, it disrupts a lifetime of conditioning. He starts feeling things he didn't plan for, emotions he never prepared to handle, and for the first time, he's not in control of how deeply someone affects him. That kind of emotional experience makes a man behave in ways that can look strange, distant, or even confusing to a woman. He may become quieter, more reflective, or less consistent, not because his feelings are fading, but because they're getting stronger faster than he knows how to manage. Love makes a man vulnerable, and vulnerability is uncomfortable for him. When he feels deeply, it exposes parts of him he usually keeps hidden. Suddenly, he cares about what you think. He cares about losing you. He cares about how his actions are interpreted. That pressure isn't coming from you. It's coming from his own heart. The more he loves, the more he fears messing things up. This fear creates a temporary emotional imbalance. He's trying to regulate his feelings, but he doesn't want you to see that he's struggling internally. So instead of expressing all his emotions out loud, he retreats a little, pulls into himself, and tries to put his heart back into order. This is why a man's behavior may feel different when he's in love. He acts unpredictable because he's experiencing emotions that overpower his usual logic. He gets nervous around you in ways he never felt with other women. He may avoid eye contact for a moment because he's scared you'll notice how much he feels. He may hesitate before saying things that come easily to him with others. He may even distance himself briefly while he processes emotions he doesn't have the tools to express. That distance isn't rejection. It's him trying to find steady ground. Love has knocked him off balance, and he's trying to stand without looking shaky. Men feel love just as deeply as women do, but they rarely know how to articulate it. Instead, they act it out through subtle signs, through hesitation, through protectiveness, through quiet reflection. Vulnerability makes him consider every step twice. He wants to be careful, thoughtful, and intentional because he knows your heart is something precious. That slows him down. That makes him cautious. And that caution sometimes looks like confusion when in reality it's him trying to love you without hurting you. Falling in love strips a man of his emotional armor. He's no longer the tough, unshakable version of himself. He becomes softer, more aware, more sensitive to how you make him feel. And while he may not admit it, the intensity scares him. He starts asking himself questions he never thought about before. Am I enough for her? Can I give her the life she deserves? Can I protect her heart the way she needs? What if I fail? Those thoughts create emotional pressure. Instead of pushing forward confidently, he pauses to evaluate everything. He thinks about every word he says, every decision he makes, every gesture he offers. He wants to do things right. He wants to show up correctly. And because his heart is involved, he's not taking any shortcuts. His vulnerability isn't weakness. It's the purest evidence of his love. It shows he cares enough to fear losing you. It shows you've touched places in him that no one else touched. And even if he doesn't say it out loud, his vulnerability is the silent confession of how deeply he feels. When a man truly loves a woman, he doesn't always know how to express it immediately. Instead of stepping forward with full confidence, he may pull back for a moment, not to create distance, but to gather himself emotionally. This temporary pause is often misunderstood as avoidance, but in reality, it's preparation. When a man feels something powerful building inside him, something real and meaningful, it becomes overwhelming. He steps back to sort through what he's feeling, to understand the intensity, and to figure out how to show up in a way that honors the connection. Love pushes him into unfamiliar emotional territory, and his instinct is to slow down so he doesn't make mistakes. This is not hesitation from lack of interest. It's hesitation because he cares too much to get it wrong. A man who is not serious rushes into everything because nothing is at stake. But when his heart is truly involved, he becomes more thoughtful. You may notice him becoming quieter or taking more time to respond. This isn't because he's talking to someone else or losing interest. He's processing emotions he's not used to dealing with. He thinks about how you'll interpret his actions. He thinks about whether he can meet your expectations. He thinks about what the future could look like with you. That internal reflection can make him seem distant, but he's actually becoming more emotionally invested. He steps back to step forward the right way. This temporary retreat is also his way of protecting the relationship from his own insecurities. When a man loves deeply, he becomes aware of every flaw he has. He starts worrying about disappointing you, saying the wrong thing, or showing up in ways that don't match what you deserve. That awareness makes him cautious. He wants to make sure that when he comes toward you, he's stable, clear, and ready. Pulling back gives him time to regulate his emotions, manage his fears, and build courage. It's not rejection, it's responsibility. He wants to give you the best version of himself, and sometimes that requires a moment of emotional adjustment. Furthermore, when he pulls back, it's often because he's evaluating what love demands of him. He understands that love isn't just feelings. It's effort, consistency, presence, and growth. He's thinking about whether he's ready to show up with all those things. He's thinking about what needs to change in his life to make room for you. He's thinking about how to balance his responsibilities with his desire to give you attention, time, and emotional security. Men think in terms of structure, and real love requires restructuring. That's why he pauses, not to create distance from you, but to make space for you. This emotional pause can be confusing for a woman because her version of love often makes her move closer, talk more, and become more expressive. But a man's version of love frequently makes him reflect, observe, and internally prepare. It's not that he doesn't want you, it's that he wants to be enough for you. His pullback is not about creating separation. It's about avoiding mistakes he can't take back. It's about making sure he approaches you with clarity, sincerity, and intention. He doesn't want to hurt you. He doesn't want to confuse you. He wants to be someone you can rely on. When a man cares deeply, he doesn't disappear, he recalibrates. His temporary distance is not the end of something, it's the beginning of something deeper forming inside him. It's his heart adjusting to a level of emotion he never expected. And when he comes back, which he will, he comes back stronger, clearer, and more committed. His pullback is not proof that he's leaving. It's proof that he's in love and wants to move forward the right way. A man's actions often reveal the truth long before his words ever do. And when he is in love, those actions become even more meaningful. Even if he slows down, even if he takes time to process his emotions, even if he seems unsure for a moment, there are certain behaviors he simply cannot hide. Love shows up in the details, small acts of loyalty, quiet moments of protection, consistent effort, and the way he still shows up even when he's not talking as much. A man may not always know how to say, "I love you," but he will show it through the way he treats you, the way he respects you, and the way he tries to be present in your life. Even when he's dealing with internal struggles, his heart won't allow him to detach from someone he truly cares about. That invisible thread of love keeps his actions grounded in devotion. A man in love becomes consistent even when circumstances make communication uneven. He may pull back to think, but he doesn't disappear. He checks on you even in small ways. He pays attention to what you need. He tries to make your life easier, even with things you didn't ask for. That's because real love activates a protective instinct in him. He wants to make sure you're safe, happy, and supported. When he loves you, he becomes someone who watches out for you naturally without needing to be asked. He thinks about you when he's making decisions. He considers your feelings before he acts. He doesn't risk losing your trust. His love is visible in the quiet reliability of his presence. Effort becomes a language for him. It shows up in how he tries to spend time with you, how he remembers the things you like, and how he tries to fix problems instead of ignoring them. Even when he's overwhelmed or confused by his emotions, he still finds a way to show that you matter. That's because real love pushes him to be better. It makes him want to rise to the level you deserve. He may not be perfect, but he tries. He tries in ways that other men never did. He tries in ways that feel unfamiliar to him, but natural when it comes to you. Love transforms his priorities. Suddenly, your happiness is part of his purpose. Loyalty is another sign he can't hide. A man who loves you does not want to risk losing you by entertaining distractions. He becomes more careful with his energy. He avoids situations that could hurt you or damage the connection. Even if he doesn't announce it, he makes internal decisions to protect what he feels with you. Love creates a sense of responsibility inside him, an awareness that your heart is in his hands. And even if he hasn't fully expressed his feelings yet, he acts as if he already made a commitment. He chooses you in the choices he makes when you're not around. A man in love also begins to show up emotionally in ways he never expected. He listens more deeply. He opens up more slowly but more sincerely. He lets you see parts of him he doesn't show to the world. These emotional openings may be subtle, but they are real. He starts sharing pieces of his past, his dreams, his fears, and his hopes. He doesn't do this with just anyone. He does it because he trusts you. He does it because he sees you as someone he can build something with. Even in moments when he pulls back to sort through his feelings, his actions continue to circle back to you. He stays connected stays present, stays caring, his behavior reveals what his heart may not be ready to say out loud. And when you pay attention to these actions, small, consistent, genuine, you'll see the truth clearly. A man who loves you cannot hide it, even if he tries. His actions will always tell the story his heart is still learning how to voice.